We usually think of borders as clear lines on a map, but what happens when those lines are blurry? Between the giants of the United States and Canada, for a brief fascinating period, a third entity existed, a forgotten independent republic born entirely from confusion. The year is 1783. The Treaty of Paris officially ends the American Revolutionary War. While settling borders, the treaty makers used vague language defining the boundary near New Hampshire and Quebec based on the northwesternmost head of the Connecticut River. The problem? There wasn't one clear source. Several streams could fit the description. As a result, both the newly formed United States and Great Britain, on behalf of Canada, laid claim to a rugged, roughly 280 square mile territory known as the Indian Stream. The few hundred settlers living there found themselves caught in the middle, facing taxes and laws from two different countries. By 1832, the inhabitants of Indian Stream had enough of the dual administration and confusion. Their solution was radical: independence. They drafted their own constitution, established elected officials, courts, and even a militia. Led by figures like Luther Parker, the Republic of Indian Stream wasn't necessarily driven by grand political ideals, but by the practical need for clear governance in a territory effectively ignored or contested by its powerful neighbors. For 3 years, they managed their own affairs. However, this independence couldn't last. The Republic's ambiguous status inevitably led to conflict. Disputes over jurisdiction flared up. Arrests made by officials from one side were contested by the other, sometimes leading to cross-border incidents and escalating tensions. Finally, in 1835, the state of New Hampshire decided to end the uncertainty, sent in its militia, peacefully asserted control, and effectively annexed the Republic of Indian Stream. The brief experiment of self-rule was over. The border itself was definitely settled years later in 1842 by the Webster-Ashburton Treaty, which formally placed the Indian Stream territory within the United States.